where you find people cross-carpeting the next morning. Somebody contested the election in the primary, and the next morning he was a deputy governorship candidate on another political platform, which means people have reached a point where political parties are just mere platforms and tools to be used and discarded at will. But the essence of having a political party is people who share common views and aspirations about governance and about policy, about the kind of things that they intend to do for society. But what you find increasingly in our society today is strange bedfellows assemble in political parties. They claim that they are forming a political party, and at the end, when they feel disgruntled, they leave the party as quickly as they came. Now, this is a challenge that we're contending with. I've been a strong party man over the years. I started down there as being a secretary of a People's Democratic Party in a local government before rising through the ranks in terms of, so I've really contributed even to the development of the party itself over the years. I became a DG Research, I became a Chief of Staff to the Governor, and eventually I became a Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And in 2 years, I know what I have done as a senator representing my constituency. I come from one of the most difficult senatorial zones, the hot zone of Nigeria in the true sense of the word, because that is the area where the factor of ethnicity, the factor of religion have been a serious challenge for us, where we've seen serious crises in the process and have been a major mediator in resolving certain conflicts that have been on the ground. And people have come to appreciate the contribution that some of us have made in the governance situation. Not just that somebody just woke up one morning and said, come and be governor. No, you must have an antecedent, you have a record, you have a contribution that you have made over time that will necessitate or compel attention on you sufficient to be supported for you to become a representative of the people. And that is the reality. So when people talk about handpicking, it's a lame way of just, casting aspersions and making it look as if it wasn't possible if not for. But at the end of the day, for me, if not for God, it is not possible. For me, a young man like this, getting through the ranks in that order, I'm contesting with people in the past who have been deputy Senate presidents, I'm contesting in the past with people who have been governors before, and yet the citizens on the ground feel compelled, based on their conviction, that this is the person that should be voted to represent them. Okay,
now let's talk about the suspension, resignation of the chairman of the PDP in your state. Is there any link? Is there any connection?
The truth of the matter is that as a sitting chairman of a party, he decided he wanted to contest for the governorship seat. And he was simply advised that, look, you cannot remain as chairman of a party and at the same time want to contest elections. And that necessarily, he felt that it's not possible. He will sit tight and remain chairman until the day he feels like leaving. And all the other members of the party felt, look, you cannot eat your cake and have it. You cannot be contesting governorship and still hold on to the office of being chairman of a party. And it dovetailed into a direction where he had to leave the party to contest for governorship. And at the end, he didn't get up to 30 delegates voting for him. If he was truly a chairman of a party who was in control of a party and left all out in a very decent manner to contest, he is likely to have won the hearts of those who are already members of the party. But he thought he would fight the system. You see, this is a party. You cannot be asking for the head of a party. You cannot be thinking of how to destabilize a party and you expect the party again to turn around and vote for you. This is the unfortunate thing. And then there's another dimension of things that have been raised with regards to complications here and there. When you're contesting a party primary, it is the people in the party that conduct this election. But if you issue a public statement somewhere and you're castigating the party and you're asking for the dissolution of the party, you are saying you don't like what is going on in the party, then who on earth will come and vote for you? Who else will come and vote? Is it the people from other parties that will come and vote for you in that party? You're supposed to have a healthy relationship with your party. You're supposed to ensure that you can convince members of your party to support you. Okay. But when you begin to think that you can antagonize them and then you still expect them to turn around and support you, then it means you don't even know what the political reality is.
You have been in the political space on the Plateau for a while, as you said yourself. So let's look at the other parties. We understand that there was also rancor with the choice of candidates of the APC, and some other parties also had their issues with choice of candidate. I mean, why do we have to get to that point where it's as if the parties can't even seem to make a choice?
The truth of the matter is that, you see, politics is about interests. And a clash of interests generates necessarily outcomes and reactions and counter-reactions here and there. And it's just like having a thesis, an antithesis, and a synthesis will eventually emerge. The truth of the matter is that at this point, we're moving to a direction of synthesis, where we are gradually looking at those who stood against somebody and for somebody. For me, after I won my primaries, the first thing I did was to invite all those that lost elections, not even for governorship, those that lost at the level of House of Assembly primaries, those that lost election for House of Representatives, those that lost for Senate, all of them assembled, and we discussed as party men to say that, look, ordinarily, when there is a contention for one office, there are bound to be those who will not win and those who will win. And that is the reality of human life. For as long as you don't accept that when you set out to contest election, then you will be having a problem, especially when the outcome does not favor you in the process. And a large extent, a lot of them said, for the first time, somebody is calling them so that they can sit down and discuss. Because in the past, people will assume that once you lose a primary, you are not important. Everybody is important in a political party. And as a result, there's a need for harmony and a group approach, teamwork, to ensure that the party, becomes stronger. So if other parties are having their own problems, they have the challenge to contend with solving that problem in the process. All that parties do is that come out with the right candidates that will outdo other contenders from other political parties. But unfortunately, the intra-party wranglings get so heavy to a point where you begin to assume that, right from day one, you can even see when elections have not even been conducted, people are already crying foul. People will start shouting even before the actual conduct of elections. So if already your frame of mind before the conduct of an election is already raising issues, and then by the time the elections hold again, what do you think will be your response? First, you must have confidence in the system, work towards that system, approach the system with all its inadequacies, and ensure that at the end you gain support of the people. And when the support is extended to you, you eventually reach out to the rest of the people who are also in contention and ensure that you act as a team and deliver on policy, deliver on governance promises, deliver on the right things that will transform society.
Well, beyond the political scene, the situation on the Plateau, what's the Plateau like right now?
Presently, relative calm. Of course, it's a very sensitive state, like I said, located in the middle of Nigeria with all the strategic complications on the ground. And the truth of the matter is that we're doing pretty well, given the reality across Nigeria, especially in northern Nigeria, especially the security challenges here and there. I believe people are getting gradually prepared to begin to focus on survival, focus on peace, ensuring that bridges are built across divides, and ensuring that in the course of even the conduct of elections, that they will not do so based on divisive tendencies.
We all know that just in particular, and the Plateau in general, used to be like the collecting point of
the home of peace,
the home of peace, yes, a collecting point for practically all of Nigeria. I mean, there's hardly anybody that you talk about now in the entertainment industry, for instance, who would not mention having stayed in Jos for a while or something. So, can we get back to that point where the Plateau becomes indeed the home it used to be?
I look at the future not in terms of going back to the past, but as a future that will be a reflection of the reality of our experiences and moving into a future that is certainly better and greater than even the past. In other words, there is a high possibility that given our experiences on the Plateau, that we're moving to a future where the generation that is taking charge of affairs is focused on making the desirable impact that will certainly project the state, not just as a home of peace, but actually as a hub of not just developmental innovation compared to other states of the Federation, but also as a place where everybody wants to come and settle. And that was the reality in the past, and that is still possible given the way and manner we're gradually reaching out to each other on the Plateau and ensuring that we can work and be greater as a state.
Okay, and maybe I should just quickly go back to some of the issues that we raised concerning your emergence. The 12 that are aggrieved. What are you doing to see how...
Frankly, I've said already that even those that didn't contest governorship, I'm reaching out to them.
Do you think
it's going
to affect your chances, even as a party?
Let me tell you, I understand the dynamics of delineation of constituencies, the dynamics of voting patterns, the dynamics of support groups. You see, I'm probably one of the youngest of the aspirants. And for those who are talking about zoning, there are people who are talking about a generational shift in governance. And that, to them, breaks the barriers of geography, breaks the barriers of ethnicity, breaks the barriers of religion. So that is the new challenge for our own generation in moving in a direction that will make progressive impact on our society. For the 12 that I've contested, you'll be shocked to discover that out of the 12, they probably come from 2 or 3 local governments. A huge chunk of them coming from one local government or the other. Now, when they write as 12 people. But when they write, they represent only a section of the state in itself. We have 17 local governments. And out of 12 aspirants, 8 of them come from 2 local governments. And they write and are insisting that there should be zoning. What they're invariably saying. What I'm trying to tell you is that, what I'm saying is that sometimes we exaggerate the mere fact that those who signed are so number.
How do you want to resolve all of this so that it will boost your chances?
The chances are as bright as the promises of God. For me, I must say that we're moving in a direction where we're reaching out to each other. Some of the aspirants have come to me directly. They have completely shown their support and are working with me. Some we have even integrated their structures to ensure we are working together. Some still are finding it very difficult to accept the outcome, and we're reaching out to them. And we believe strongly that in due time, people will appreciate the fact that at the end of the day, it is one person at a time that occupies the power.
I have a comment from someone that's watching. Boaziz says, Plateau State politics under PDP is a family business. Do you agree with him?
All of us are a family. The entire Plateau is a family. And that is a family business to a little sense of a word. It's a Plateau project that involves every citizen of Plateau State. And we want to create a situation where all of us can become a complete family in that order.
What if you lose? What if the other party, the opposition party, wins?
The truth of the matter, God gives power to whom he feels at the time he wishes. And I stand firmly supported by God to be the governor of Plateau State. As it is, so far, the indices indicate that I'm getting set to win and to represent the people well and to do the kind of programs that will make the Plateau people proud, that they, for once, have a governor who also reaches out to all, regardless of their difference, regardless of religion, regardless of geography, regardless of ethnicity. And the essence of governance is to establish what will impact meaningfully on the whole society. And I think strongly we're continuing on the lofty programs of the current administration. There has never been any government that has done so much within so little time, with so little resources. We believe that we will manage our resources sufficiently, both human and material, to transform our society to a greater society in the process.
Thank you so much for coming on this morning. Maybe before we close, let me just ask, we were talking about how cold it was in Jos.
Yes.
That's really, it is really getting cold.
What's the temperature like?
Certainly quite
20,
cold, very Europe, more like Europe, I must say, far less than 20 degrees.
Are you serious? So you're actually enjoying Lagos?
Yeah, well, I would also get back to even the cold of Jos.
Oh, you can't wait to get back?
Very well.
You missed it.
Thank you so much for coming on this morning. We've been speaking with the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party for Plateau State, Senator Gyang Wajo. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming. And we'll go on a short break. Stay with us on Sunrise.